Merry Christmas and happy holidays. I'm Julie Tam, managing broker of LYN Realty in Houston, and welcome to Smarter Real Estate, weekly on Wednesdays. So, Smarter Real Estate, where I arm you with practical strategies to be a smarter buyer, seller, tenant, or landlord, and in this case, how to decorate for the holidays, for the Christmas season. This video was by request, so I had at least one viewer comment and ask me to do a Christmas home tour. And so that's what we're doing today as part of my series, Living in My Dream Home, this new custom built home that we have here. And I wanted to show you from the outside in. As you can see, all of our lights are up outside. They were actually placed by professional Christmas light installers. We could not make it up, all the way to the top there with a very tall ladder. Otherwise, one of us wouldn't be alive anymore to install the lights. Right here, we have actually a little bit of a malfunction, but they look pretty. These gift boxes used to light up, and I don't know what happened, but they don't light up anymore. But they still look pretty, and so when the porch light is on, you can see them. Here we have a post that is actually something we change out seasonally or per holiday. And so right now we have the Christmas motif going on. In a previous video, you would have seen a Halloween wreath. We have one that's for like Easter, for example, and then sort of an evergreen one that's for whenever there's not a particular holiday, but it says peace on earth. And actually wrapped around the post is a string of solar powered lights. But it's been a little cloudy these couple days, so we think that may be why it's not lighting up. But basically during the day when the sunlight hits it, it gets all this light, and then that way at night you can really see it either just on, or we have it where it's like the whole on-off blinking, lights theme. So let's come on into our home where I want to show you what we have here in our foyer. So most of our decor is downstairs. And I will point out a few things that are upstairs without going all the way upstairs in a minute. But we have these beautiful sprays that we actually got from Cornelius Nursery several years ago that are on our staircase, plus some garland here. The vast majority of our decor has been around with us for many years, even decades in some cases, including from my childhood. And so here is a Noel sign, and actually we've got some birthday balloons from my son's recent birthday celebration that are still here on the staircase. And then here we have our stockings. Oops, this guy flipped around. So this time I hung them up with this garland that has kind of like a snowy effect on the staircase. And then on this side, our bamboo console table. It's actually, I don't know if it's made out of bamboo, but it's shaped like bamboo. Maybe it is. I can't remember now. From Pier 1 Imports, I believe. We have this tinsel that has this kind of a snowy effect. These little trees were actually from Z Gallery. They're sparkly, glittery, really beautiful. I don't know that the camera actually does them quite enough justice for the amount of sparkle that there is with this ombre effect. And then these other little trees that are part of this Christmas village was actually a really good deal. I got it for, I want to say about $100 from Bed Bath and Beyond. It was all in one big box, one set. And I've continued it along the bar up here. But before we go up there, I want to point out down here is a string of lights that are indoor or outdoor, plus some more of this kind of snowy looking garland. We actually had that on display at our wedding over 16 years ago. But anyway, 16, not 60. I would look so fabulous if it was 60 years ago. But anyway, so yeah, got that down there, really lighting up this area. These three little potted trees are from Our House, Arhaus, in the Galleria Post Oak area of Houston. We got these at an after Christmas sale a year ago, so in late 2022. Or maybe it was even early 2023 by then. Anyway, the point is that these are really the only things, along with those Z Gallery trees, and there was like a few ornaments on the tree that are new for this home. Everything else we've had for a long time, including this little jingle bells hanging from our under the stairs closet door. As you can see, the Christmas village continuing here. These are super cute. If you go back and watch an old video that I did, I want to say a couple of years ago at our old home before we moved here, we showed these and many of the decorations that you see today, but you'll see them placed in different areas. So it's actually quite interesting to see what we've done in our old home versus our current home. I love the lights in these because you can look inside and really feel like you're in this little town, where there's a bed and breakfast, a toy shop, a church, and these cute little characters out. And so I've arranged them where it really makes it feel like it's in a town. The Christmas tree has a train that goes around it. There's a setting where the music plays and you've got Christmas music. But right now, we've got it turned off because we don't want the music to be super loud because it is. All right, let's come back over here to the front of the home where our formal dining room is. So we have a string of lights running along the china cabinet there, which is actually a string of lights that I've had pretty much for my whole life since my childhood. My mom doesn't put up decorations anymore at her home, so I have her things. And actually, the centerpiece is a nice glass bowl that I believe is from Crate and Barrel, if I remember correctly, and it has real pine cones here, plus more of that snowy tinsel to continue that effect. So that motif is going on through multiple rooms of our home. Here in the butler's pantry and wet bar area, we have some sparkly candle holders. So as you can see, we've stuck them kind of like the holly look around some of the small candles. We have bigger versions of it, like right here around this bigger candle, and then a nutcracker book. And actually, if you turn it on, you've got Clara with the nutcracker dancing, and it's a scene, and she actually spins around and music plays from the nutcracker. And this has also been with us for many, many years. Here we have a little nativity scene slash Christmas jar that I made at a mom's event, a little Christmas card that Shay just made this year at a school holiday festival event. And as we pass through the kitchen, we will see there's a gingerbread house in the middle of the island. That is actually sprayed with a preservative spray. So it is no longer edible, but that keeps it from attracting insects like ants because they cannot access the sugar. It's a little messy. We did this, a number of years ago. It's an okay job. We wouldn't win any competitions, but it's meaningful. That's the thing, is that our home is not about trying to look like a Christmas showcase model home of perfection. It is, it's nice. There's a lot of nice things, but it also reflects who we are and things that are special that we've collected over the years. Here is a nativity scene towel that we have in place of the regular generic towel that we would normally have hanging here off of our dishwasher. And here in the breakfast, we have two beautiful white reindeer with sparkly antlers and this tree that is lit. This was a beautiful tree that is from Fredericksburg, Texas, a town where there were some shops that were super cool. And my mom got this for me because I loved it so much, but I didn't want to plop down the money that it cost to get it. It's got a dusting of fake snow there and just two chubby little birds in their nests. And I just love the look of it. And the light color temperature and the way it's just twinkling there is just so lovely. So anyway, she got that for me. And the idea I had this year as far as putting Christmas cards from others was to affix this ribbon using painter's tape that I folded, made it double sided on the back here against this. And twisted it around, and I've got Christmas cards so far. It's a little bit early in the season. A lot of people are pretty late in sending their cards, and so that's what we've got so far. But by the end of the season, we would probably have both sides filled up based on past history of how many Christmas cards we get. All right, let me see if I can maneuver my way through. I am now over 7 months pregnant. I'm going to have another winter baby. And yes. All right, before we hit to the kind of the grand finale, I want to show you in the living room some elements here. So as you can see, we have a cute little Christmas tree on this table, an advent calendar. I love this advent calendar. I will recommend this advent calendar if you want to spend, I think it costs about $150, give or take, from Walmart.com of all places. It's heavy and high quality. It's made of wood. And basically what it is days 1 through 24. Each little door opens up to a character. And as the parent, you can place the characters of the Christmas nativity scene in whatever order you want. And so I kind of disperse like the stars and the animals and the different people throughout. So it kind of alternates. So that way our son, as every day passes, when he comes to open up one of the doors, he gets something different. So you're not going to get all the sheep in a row or all the cows in a row. It's going to be alternating so that he gets a little surprise every day. And for the final one is baby Jesus in slot number 24. But he's already peeked. He's already looked in the future ones to see what's coming up. They don't walk. But I love this advent calendar because a lot of advent calendars out there, they're like based on little gifts or like chocolate or like makeup for women and stuff like that, but it has nothing to do with the real meaning of Christmas, which as a Christian is obviously the birth of Jesus Christ. And so having this here tells the story, but it's also cute and fun where he gets to take the character out and it's magnetic, each of these characters, so he can just stick it on the scene and he can move it around and adjust it as more characters appear if he needs to make room for them or decide to change them up. And so I love this too because in future years I can change the order of the characters, and put them in the different drawers, and he can just create the story all over again. So there you have it. Now we have two frames, picture frames on either side of this coffee table from the Polar Express. So this one is when my husband and I rode the Polar Express in Arizona. Snowy scenery, really had that Polar Express feel. But then in Galveston, Texas, when it was actually cold that night when we rode it with our son, but we have these tickets from the Polar Express that they actually took the little hole puncher and punched out just like in the movie, and they spell out the word believe. We have three different tickets where a couple of letters were punched out in each ticket. And this is a picture of the ride we took in Galveston, which is with our son. And this was actually in 2022 Christmas. And anyway, that Polar Express was different because there was no snow going on outside, so it wasn't very polar, but it was cold, and we were wearing our pajamas, and they reenacted the whole thing. And so we love having these picture frames here because it reminds us of that, and it was such a fun time. My son has been playing with his marble run in this area. I mentioned this in a previous video that we love that this area is just an open area where the rug is. We're not trying to put extra furniture here because it is a great place for our current child and our future one when they're together playing on the floors, having this space for them. And so it doesn't have to always look perfect like model home show ready because we live here, and so our home is not messy by any means. It's very neat and tidy and clean, but this shows that we are also living here and that we're not trying to be super stiff about having the home be perfect all the time. You can see up on the shelves there, I have three different lovely nutcrackers. I love nutcrackers. I mean, who doesn't? But also because I was in the Nutcracker performed by the Houston Ballet about 30 years ago when I was a kid. And I performed about 21 performances each season. There were 42 shows each Christmas season back then, and there were two casts. And so each of us performed half the shows, which was grueling when you're in middle school and trying to go to school and have these performances in the evenings on weekdays and then matinees for the afternoon and evenings on the weekends. But yes, having Nutcracker themed things is definitely my thing. Here we have a tinsel box. So some stars, it's a little crooked, and the string of lights in there. That's battery operated and it can twinkle and blink, or you can have it just on. And we have this cool like origami Santa Claus that was given to me by my late nanny, I believe was the one who gave it to me a long time ago. And then this is the little tiny Christmas tree. I had this Christmas tree when I moved out on my own as an adult in my early 20s. That was my first Christmas tree that I got for myself. And it's white, and we reserved the tiniest ornaments for it. And now I like to call it like Shay's tree, and pretty soon it'll be the kids' tree. And that is just basically what he decorated. We give him the chance to decorate the tree on his own. We're shooting this video right now super late at night, so the timer is already turned off on this. But as you can see, if I turn it on, it's a fake candle, and we have a little candle holder. So there you have it. Over here in this niche right outside the powder room, you can see a little Christmas gift craft that my son did. So we put that there. Some of the nicer, prettier things that he did, we like to just put them out on display because they're whimsical. There's such a childlike, magical spirit around Christmas. And so having something like that is just a really nice ode to that. Look in the powder room where we have this fingertip towel that says Meowie Christmas. I believe this is from my mom, or I could be mistaken, but anyway, she really likes cats. She has a sister who also likes cats, so maybe it was from her. I literally can't remember, but we pull this out every Christmas, and then we also have a cranberry mandarin candle right here that gives a nice Christmas color red. And then I want to bring you back out to the living room where we'll end for the big finale, which is our big tree. But before we get to that, a couple more things. So my son's birthday gifts, we've opened and we've got them here. We're going to take them upstairs and put them in his room. But for now, they're hanging out there. Right at the top, the balcony there on the second floor, you can see our medium tree. What we did was we had a bunch of ornaments from our office that were not being used, and they're just the typical balls of different colors, some sparkly, some more matte finish. And we've got the Santa's hat at the top there as the tree topper, and that sits there. And so at the front of the house, when you were outside, you would have seen that through the front window. We also have a string of lights going across the windowsill to add more light looking out there. And, the reason that tree is up there is because we wanted something to show in the front window. It doesn't need to be something where the ornaments are that special because no one can really see that much detail from outside. So balls are fine, and so that just kind of puts that all up there. And the one Christmas tree that is more special, that has ornaments of meaning, not just a bunch of generic balls, is this one here, because this is where we gather and our friends and family come over so they can kind of see what we have on here that is ours. So we will end here while you take a look around the tree, and I will mention some techniques that you can use as you are decorating your home for Christmas and specifically trimming the tree. The way we did it was we first started out with this beautiful ribbon. You can see it has a net sort of effect and it's sort of metallic, shiny, a little bit of sparkle. So my husband is super artistic and aesthetic, and I don't know if he really likes the fact that I'm reporting this all over the world on the internet, but he is the one who puts our ribbon up each year because he does a better job than I would. So it undulates and is very artistic and goes throughout, and he's super good at it. He's over here gesturing to me. Anyway, he should be very proud. It's really beautiful. The tree topper is a star that my son actually made at school this year. So the topper is different each year. I think in the old video in our old home, the tree actually had a bunch of these like sprays, like which you'll see actually in the tree right now, like these like really pretty sparkly things that are sticking out. And anyway, but this year I was like, you know what, this big star that he made as a craft at school, it's part of their art. It's actually super cute and it's pretty, and the colors, they used a metallic paint, so it works so nicely. I thought, you know what, let's just put that at the top of the tree. Having a star as a tree topper is totally appropriate. This tree is from Balsam Hill. It is, I believe, an 8-foot tree. It is pre-lit. I don't remember the type of tree, but you can get samples from Balsam Hill, or we did at the time, where we paid for it, and then if you order a tree from them, which we fully intended to do, then they credit you the amount that you paid for the samples to the purchase of the tree. So it was a fine deal for us. This is already flocked, so it's got that snowy effect, which we love. We don't get snow in Houston very much, and so this is just wonderful. We start out by putting all the big ornaments throughout the tree, because just like that old experiment where you take a jar and you try to fill it with rocks, if you fill it with sand first and then try to do the medium rocks and then the big rocks, it's really hard to fit all the rocks. So you put all the big rocks first, then the medium, then the little ones, and sand in between, then everything fits. So the same concept applies here. You put the big ornaments first, and specifically focusing on putting fragile ornaments near the top where it's harder for little kids to reach. And then non-fragile ornaments at the bottom, semi-fragile ornaments somewhere in the middle where most kids cannot reach. And yes, then you would fill in with the medium ornaments throughout, the little ornaments, then after that. And we also did not want to cluster the same type of ornaments or the same color scheme ornaments in one spot, because then that makes the tree look strange or lopsided. We wanted to disperse different styles, different character types, different colors, and different materials of ornaments throughout the whole tree. There are some ornaments that are repeated, like you will see red bows. We have multiples of those. Those are from my childhood. You'll see I repurposed these little baby Christmas socks, like these newborn socks that we gave Shay. So you see pairs of them throughout the tree, little stockings throughout the tree. And then we just have some ornaments that really reflect, things that we like and who we are. Like we have owls because my husband and I went to Rice University, where that was the mascot, or it still is the mascot. We have some ornaments that are from Rice University. They gave them to us as gifts that say Rice. We have Tesla ornaments because I drive a Tesla. My husband has a Tesla on reserve. I have a Model X. He's got the Cybertruck. We also have oh gosh, we shouldn't show this, but anyway, my son, his mugshot from church, he's not making the cutest face. And so anyway, every year, church has that um, some sort of ornament where they take a picture of the kids and they make a little ornament and send it home with us. So we have those throughout the tree, and then we also have ballet related ornaments. And of course, look at the beautiful tree skirt down there. I love this. I got this because it's white, so it continues that kind of snowy effect, and it's got the sparkly, almost looks like snowflakes. The beautiful silver there. I really like silvers and golds, which is what you'll see as the main theme of color throughout the tree. And then, of course, the ornaments have all their own individual colors that really, it's not so much about the color, but more of the meaning and the symbolism behind the ornaments. And you'll see some ornaments from different places around the United States and even around the world, throughout Europe and Asia and whatnot. Then I did mention a few new ornaments this year you haven't seen in a previous video, and these are from Z Gallery. Like this one says joy. I have a couple of these and a couple that say Noel, and they're just really pretty. These like metal, super thin, with a little bit of foliage, and so those are dispersed around the tree as well. And that's it, folks. As you guys take kind of a final look at the ornaments, yes, so we're not about doing a tree that has a specific theme, like a Victorian tree or a traditional tree or a whatever type of tree where you have like the same set of ornaments, that you would get from a store to put the tree together. Those are beautiful trees, and you see them at the mall and department stores and stores, that sell Christmas ornaments and things like that. But we really wanted something that just reflects who we are. I mean, specifically, I wanted it. And of course, very important is the message of Christmas, hope, through this little nativity scene ornament here. And so, yes, always wanted to make sure that that's there. I am not into Santa Claus and all the secular Christmas characters. We do have a few of those here and there just because there are things that have been given to me over the years. And so, yeah, there you have it. Some of the things aren't even ornaments that you would hang. Actually, well, somebody put an ornament hook on this one and ended up hanging it, but it used to just sit on the tree. Like we would just lodge it on, you know, one of the branches or whatever you might call it. So anyway, I'm wishing you and your family a happy holiday season and Merry Christmas if that is what you celebrate, and hopefully a happy 2024. I sound a little congested. It's the whole pregnancy congestion thing that I've been having for quite a few months now. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then please tell me by clicking like and subscribe so you don't miss an episode of Smarter Real Estate. Post it on YouTube and then also share it on Facebook and LinkedIn. And I will see you again on a future Weekly Wednesday video. Bye-bye. Have a good one.